What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're diving into the latest updates when it comes to Cardano. First things first, we'll take a look at where we stand with the upcoming Chang Hardfork. We'll review the progress of SPOs or stake pool operators, in addition to centralized exchanges or CEXs, which include Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken. Now, following that, I want to quickly highlight some of the constitutional workshops which will be taking place all around the globe. So regardless of where you live, there should be some upcoming workshops near you. But then second, we'll dive into a brief update with respect to Pavia, which has officially announced that they'll be undergoing a merger and acquisition as they begin to slow down on their development. So for anybody who just isn't aware, Pavia is an NFT project that rose to fame in late 2021 or early 2022 as the metaverse craze was really taking full effect. Since then, the markets have been down, specifically with NFTs, which of course plays a big part into the Pavia ecosystem. So I want to break down their latest announcement about them taking a break from developing and looking for another company to basically pick up where they've left off from. Third, we've got updates surrounding World Mobile. So I just received an email earlier highlighting the fact that they have a new eSim category, which I want to highlight as a part of today's video. In addition, I want to basically do a quick comparison of the different data rates or different data packages that are now available. Now, after that, staying on this theme of World Mobile, we also have a brand new Airnode batch coming out, which is Airnode batch number 2. Number 1 sold out, I believe it was 20 separate Airnodes, 10 of those being the portals, and then 10 of those being the Titans. As a part of this latest batch, we have the Apex nodes as well as the Link nodes. And I believe in total, there's going to be a total of 530 or so different nodes available for purchase. So the nodes here are beginning to become more accessible, and the turnaround time to actually get these up online should be a lot quicker as well. And I'll be breaking down the different price points for each of the new nodes, which are now be available. After discussing World Mobile, there's a brand new feature here coming out from TapTools. And then we'll end off today's video by discussing a brand new SSI wallet, which has been developed and released, or at least is now in its alpha phase, by the Cardano Foundation. And again, this is SSI specific, so think of this as a great storage place or storage platform for things such as your driver's licenses, your passports, your birth certificates, or even just any of your diplomas or certificates of education, right? So anything related to an ID, that is a great form or a great way to use this SSI wallet, which of course also has some of the traditional crypto wallet features that we've all come to know and love. So that said, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, if it's the first time that you and I are meeting, my name is Fareed, and I aim to provide you here with all of the latest updates, tutorials, and interviews surrounding the growing Cardano ecosystem. If you'd like to support the channel, please make sure to smash that thumbs up here on the way in. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave those down below. Now, I am also a single stake pool operator, so if you'd like to extend your support, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Right now, you're earning your traditional ADA rewards, which can be claimed at any time, in addition to 3 other tokens for partner pool ISPOs that the Dapp Central stake pool is associated with. Keep in mind that those tokens will not be available until these ISPOs have concluded. By delegating to the stake pool right now, you will be eligible for those rewards when those actually are released. That said, let's jump into the very first topic here for today's video, which is none other than the Chang Hardfork. So I've broken this down, and I'll leave the link to that particular playlist down below, basically highlighting the impact of the Chang Hardfork, which basically brings in governance or SIP number 1694 to the ecosystem, in addition to Plutus v3. Now, in my prior videos, I've talked about the fact that the Chang Hardfork cannot kick off until we have SPOs, as well as centralized exchanges, and key other stakeholders within the ecosystem to upgrade to Cardano node version 9.1.0. Keep in mind, this is just the first portion of the Chang Hardfork upgrade. There's going to be 2 sections or 2 portions, and Cardano node version 9.1.0 initiates that first portion. Now, that first portion is basically bootstrapped the ecosystem with all the functionality that it needs in order for governance to take place, whereas that second portion of the upgrade actually turns on all of the governance functionality. So as we can see here right now, we have, let's see here, the Sancho net, which has now been fully upgraded. In terms of the blocks that are being produced between the different environments, we've got the mainnet, the pre-production environment, and the preview environment. Right now on mainnet, 42% of all blocks being minted by SPOs operating on Cardano node version 9.1.0, which is extremely, extremely positive. Next, we've got the pre-prod environment with 63% of blocks, and then the preview environment with 76% of blocks. So we are making headway there, and we're a little bit over the 50% mark. Again, I'm going to break down all the progress that the SPOs have currently made, in addition to the progress that the centralized exchanges, such as Binance, Kraken, and KuCoin have also made here as well. We can see here that we have a total of 3,100 stake pools with 378 ready for Cardano node version 9.1.0, which is equivalent to about 31%. Now, here we've got the exchange breakdown, and we can see that Coinbase is now officially started. OKX, KuCoin, Gate.io, Kraken, Mexi, CEX.io, and then Paraboo, just to name a few. But let's actually jump over to the official website here, or the official C Explorer, to see exactly who else is upgraded or who else is currently in progress of upgrading. So we also have Binance, Whitebit, which is not started, but Binance being the largest holder in terms of liquidity here, we need, I believe it's 80% of liquidity held across centralized exchanges to have upgraded. So if Binance alone can upgrade, that'll give us a whopping 20%. And then as you guys can see, we've got BitGet with 5% of the liquidity. We've got Coinbase with 3%, and then OKX with about another 3%. Now, in my last update, the only platform that actually updated at the time was Coinbase. So it's really positive to see that we've got more and more centralized exchanges getting on board and actually beginning the update process. We've also got KuCoin, Kraken, and let's see, I think those are really some of the biggest names there. Again, you can jump through all these different pages to see exactly where people stand. We've got Bitfinex, which has also started, but really the majority has not yet started. As we can see here, 12 in progress and 44 not yet started. Now, jumping back here again, in order for this upgrade to take place, we need 70% of the SPOs to upgrade to that latest Cardano node version, and then we need 80% of the exchange liquidity to have also been upgraded. So as more of these centralized exchanges, finish, I'll make sure to provide you guys with more updates on that. Jumping over here to take a look at the SPOs, again, we can see that 37% of the existing blocks on mainnet are being minted by stake pools operating on the latest Cardano node version. And then looking right here, we've got a whopping 61% of all of the stake pools which have already upgraded to Cardano node version 9.1.0. So again, taking a look here, it looks like the SPOs are just about to meet their threshold. And then after that, we're waiting mainly on centralized exchanges. But again, keep in mind that we also have to get buy-in from wallets and a few other different stakeholders within the actual ecosystem. Now, that also includes governance. So we are also waiting on different governance bodies to also upgrade before we can actually see this brand new node version take effect. Now, while we're on the topic of governance, there are a couple of Intersect constitutional workshops taking place around the globe. I'll leave the link to this down below as well. But here we can see the different timelines or the different dates, the different hosts, and the different countries where these actual workshops will be taking place. Now, that'll do it there for the very first update for today's video. As always, if you guys do enjoy updates like these, please, please, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to leave those down below. Moving right on over, let's discuss Pavia. So unfortunate news here. I mentioned this before. Pavia was by far one of the biggest metaverse protocols here back in 2021 or early 2022. And a lot of other projects have continued to build. Some of them have unfortunately fallen to the wayside, but we have a formal statement here about mergers and acquisitions, which was just released earlier by the Pavia World team. So it states here 3 years ago, and for the sake of time, I'm not going to be able to read all of this, but I do at least want to lay down the foundation here and then give you guys my thoughts. So it states here 3 years ago, Pavia started with a crazy dream to create a metaverse tech platform and a high quality immersive world, also known as Pavia World, owned by its users and full of your custom generated content or UGC. Over the last years, the team has added support for thousands of avatars, which they definitely have. They've also added in-game creatures and in-game avatars and merch. But as of this last, I would say maybe 2 to 3 months, we have seen the team basically branching out into the Ethereum ecosystem, and then more recently, highlighting a upcoming sale for a bike or an NFT in order to fund and to continue the development. So it states here that as detailed in Discord, we had hoped that the 600 unit jet bike mint would carry the Pavia World development through the MVP completion by late October. However, with only 10% actually being minted within the first 24 hours, or within their golden window. And in addition to the recent price correction, for those of you who don't know, Bitcoin basically went from about $70,000 to about $49,000. The team has basically not been able to raise enough revenue or sufficient revenue to be able to finish all of their development work. With the above in mind, they basically mentioned that they're now going to be able to, or they're now going to be shifting to looking for a merger or an acquisition, basically meaning that Pavia, as it currently stands, has come to a halt until there is a prospective buyer or a prospective acquisition or merger. It states here that as a project, we've now paused development on Pavia, and we've now moved into the merger and acquisition phase or acquisition talks. And there is now real value to everything that they've actually built with the strong community, and they're now looking to ensure that things continue either by merging or by being acquired by a separate entity. Now, of course, a lot of people were very bummed to actually see and to hear this information, which makes a lot of sense, right? A lot of people have invested a lot of hard-earned money into these projects, and to basically see them stopping all of the development, on a dime because of funding issues is not necessarily positive. That said, I personally don't own any Pavia NFTs. However, I have covered them here on the channel, and I know a lot of people that have invested in Pavia. So it is unfortunate. Hopefully they can actually make their community whole. And they actually have taken a step to do that by refunding anybody who participated in that latest funding or in that latest NFT mint for the bikes. So the team definitely doing their best here to make a graceful exit. But the fact that they have now basically said that they're out of funds obviously is not a good thing. And this is what happens, right, as people shift from the bear market into the bull market, and especially as price chops around here with Bitcoin failing to break above 70,000 here in the last 4 to 5 months after reaching new all-time highs back in, let's say here, about March-ish. And so, again, very unfortunate, but I did want to break this down here and at least bring that to your attention. Let me know what you guys think down below, especially if you do hold any of the Pavia NFTs. Next, we've got news updates surrounding the World Mobile project. So jumping right back in here, we've got some updates from World Mobile, and I'm going to jump over here into my email. And so I received this email here not too long ago, which was basically introducing country and regional eSIMs. So it breaks down the fact that the eSIM program was released about a year ago now at Rare Evo in 2023. And I actually was able to sit down with Mickey to talk about that. I'll leave the link to that particular interview down below. But they now have support in over 50 countries. But they've now broken out and introduced what they call regional eSIMs, which are perfect for visiting multiple countries on a particular trip or vacation. And then there's also now support for what is also known as a country eSIM. And that is perfect for when you're visiting a single or one particular country. Now, jumping over to the official eSIM website here, we do see that you can go ahead and select coverage for a particular country. And then scrolling down, we've got access to the regional eSIMs. Now, just taking a look here at the United States, which is where I currently reside, we can see that, let's see here, a 10 gig plan, which is valid for 90 days, costs about $22 or about $2-ish per gig. And then if you're just purchasing 1 single gigabyte of data, that's going to run you about $5. And then jumping back here and comparing that to the regional eSIM for the United States and Canada, we can see here that a gig costs you about $6.50 and 10 gigs costs you about $46. But keep in mind that this is coverage in 2 separate countries. So this team continues to expand their offerings. And again, this is not necessarily what you want to use for your daily roaming or your daily data usage. But if you're traveling abroad and you want to have a simple, valid data plan or cellular plan, this is definitely one of the best options to go ahead and use. Now, while we're on the topic of World Mobile here, I do want to quickly highlight their releases for Airnode batch number 2, where they're expanding into a brand new frontier, which includes Reno, Nevada. They're also going to be expanding into California, which we can see here, Lake Tahoe. And then I believe there's also Battle Mountain in Nevada. So really good to see that this team is now expanding. Batch 1 saw 20 Airnodes going up for sale. Batch number 2 will see, I believe, 534 Airnodes, where the majority will be what is labeled as link nodes. And then the minority, I think it's just a handful of them, being called Apex nodes. So jumping over here, we've got a little bit more information about both of those node types, where we can see here the introduction of the Apex and the link nodes. And so again, There's more information about this on the official website or their official Twitter, but the team just had a community space with Mickey and the rest of the team to break down all the details around batch number 2. So make sure to go ahead and check that out on the official Twitter. Now, when it comes to the Apex nodes, they'll be worth $15 or basically $16,000 US. They cover 90 degrees and they're able to connect up to 250 of the link Airnodes. So think of these as somewhat of a hub, right, which are basically able to connect some of these smaller link nodes. And so jumping over here, we've got the link nodes, which are a lot more accessible or a lot more affordable, which go for a price point of about $700. Now it states here that the link nodes act as a wireless radio receiver designed to capture signals from the Apex Air node, delivering endpoint connectivity on or at customer premises. Now in closing here, I do want to highlight that when it comes to operating the link Air nodes, the revenue will come directly based off of how many customers or users are connecting to the link nodes. And then the revenue generated by the Apex is based off of how many link nodes are connected to the Apex. So do keep that in mind. The Apex revenue is based off of how many link nodes or how many of the smaller nodes are connected to it. And the link nodes, their revenue is tied based off how many users or customers have data plans connecting to those link nodes. In closing, we've got a buyback which occurs every Monday here, bringing the total buyback balance to 1.2 million of the WMT tokens. That will wrap it up there for updates surrounding World Mobile. Moving right on over, we've got a brief bit here coming in from TapTools, which basically breaks down a brand new integration with with X or Twitter directly into the TapTools platform. So if you're on the official TapTools platform, looking on the right-hand side there, there's now an integrated X feed. In addition to just the token stats, they've also integrated DEX Hunter for immediate swaps on the platform and just a lot more features to make this a one-stop shop platform. So I like all the ease of use features that TapTools continues to bring. And also keep in mind that with tax season just wrapping up, they did also introduce their Tap Tax feature. And then they also have an open-ended API for anybody who wants to use any of their data for free. That said, TapTools has been doing wonders here when it comes to the meme coin season here in Cardano. If you've missed it, a lot of the new and the hottest meme tokens have all been able to be listed on TapTools. It's become the go-to place for Cardano native tokens and charting needs. So make sure to go ahead and check them out there. As we get ready to close things out for today's update, I want to highlight this SSI wallet being developed and released by the Cardano Foundation. As you can see here, pretty sleek wallet. And we can see here on the left-hand side, we've got an identity section. Right here in the middle, we've got request for credentials. And then on the right-hand side, we can actually see existing credentials for a particular user, with this example being a permanent resident card. Of course, you can provide any additional documents here, not just what's currently shown, but what this basically allows for you to do is to store a digital identity directly within the wallet. Now, looking here at the bottom, we've got the identity section. We've also got the credentials section. We've got a scan section to potentially scan existing documents. And then we've also got a crypto wallet. And then we've got a P2P chat or a peer-to-peer chat, which appears to allow for communication between different members or different community members that have this actual wallet. Now, scrolling down here, they break down some of the benefits, which include the fact that this will be open source. They break down interoperability. They also apply accessibility. Again, this is all going to be done on mobile. And then when it comes to security, there's enhanced private key security using device hardware security modules and secure enclaves. And then we've got mentions here of convenience and privacy standards. So I believe that will do it here for this particular update. If you do want to get access to this wallet, they will be going through an alpha phase. I'll leave the link to this particular interest form down below if you want to go ahead and get access to this wallet. And then in closing here, we've got the official Cardano Foundation Identity Wallet GitHub repo with all of the open source code. Whew, what an update here for today's video. That will wrap it up. I appreciate you guys sticking with me all the way through. Hopefully you guys are able to find some of this information to be helpful. Again, if you did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up if it's your first time stopping by and you want more content like this. Consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.